Hey guys, this is Michelle from Virtual Hand Care, and in this video, I'm going to show you 4 ways to ease into doing push-ups after a broken wrist. So if your goal is to get back to push-ups or maybe doing yoga or maybe just pushing yourself up off the floor without feeling like your wrist is going to give out, then these exercises are for you. Now, first and foremost, you have to be able to completely pronate your forearms as well as wrist extension. So if you don't have full mobility, then check out my videos here where you're going to want to go and work on that first before you go into doing these kind of exercises. Because if you don't have full motion and you're working within a very limited range, you're definitely going to cause more strain and pain in your wrist, and not to mention compensate at the elbow and shoulder and potentially cause some issues kind of all the way up the arm. We definitely don't want that. So for this first tip, you're going to want to grab yourself a washcloth or a towel. So you're going to go ahead and place your hands about shoulder width apart. You're kind of leaning more back on your rear end here. And you're placing your palm on the towel and the fingers are free on the mat. What you want to do is first work on just rotating those elbows to where the elbows are facing away from you. And then relax. And then again, work on rotating those elbows. So we're making sure we can get in that good pronated position first. And doing that just a couple times, working on rotating the forearm, rotating the forearm. Now, once you feel like you can do that and that feels okay in the wrist, go ahead and just lightly start kind of moving up and over your wrists, and then come back down. And then back up, and then back down. And you can scoot a little bit farther away. And then you can come back up and back down and back up and back down. And then you would just work on that however long you need to. If that still feels very challenging, very weak for you, then you may just need to continue to do that way for a good 1 to 2 weeks, or maybe even longer. There's really no harm in continuing to do that to make sure that you're building a good foundation before you try to advance too far and potentially injure yourself. Okay, so then the second way to ease back into push-ups would, again, we're still gonna use the towel for this one, but now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just go right back into that quadruped, and we're gonna go right into making sure that the knees are directly under the hips now. Making sure the towel is under the palm, fingers are wide open in a good position, shoulder width apart. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start putting a little more weight into our wrists now. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna come up on your toes, you're gonna pull in that belly, pull your belly button up towards the spine. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and make sure you've got good motion, rotate those elbows again, come up on your toes, and then you're gonna go ahead and pull up and down. So you're lifting your knees up off the ground ever so slightly. Let's do that again. Ready? Good position, nice stable wrist, and lift. And back down, and lift, and back down. And then of course you can advance this then by holding this a couple of more seconds. Really holding that if you can, and then coming back down. So by this way, you're really starting to put a little bit more weight into your wrist, but it's still nice and controlled. And relax. And you can do a good 5 to 10 repetitions of those, and you can always stay with that exercise for several weeks until you feel like you're strong enough to progress your push-up. Okay, tip number 3, now we're actually going to get rid of the towel. If you feel that the towel really helps the wrist with wrist pain or just helps keep it kind of in that nice stable position, there's nothing wrong with working with a towel. You can definitely do that. So again, you're gonna come back up on all fours. This time, you're really making sure that you've got a good position, spreading your fingers out as far as you can. Making sure you've got good wrist extension, good forearm rotation. Making sure those knees are up underneath you. And you're going to go ahead and pull up with your belly button and you're going to lift up off the ground. Come back down. And this time now you're going to come down towards the mat. And then you're going to push yourself back up. And again, you're going to pull up. Come back down. And then you're gonna lower yourself down towards the mat and then push yourself back up. So this one is more of a 2-part exercise. So you're gonna lift, feel the pressure and weight into that wrist, come back down, and then you're going to lower and go through that full range of motion of a push-up, but a little bit more of a safer, maybe more comfortable way as you continue to work on that strength. So again, let's do that one more time. Belly button in, pull up, hold, feel nice and strong in the wrists, come back down, and then slowly lower yourself down and then push yourself back up into a good position. And of course, you can then continue to do that exercise for 5 to 10 repetitions. And again, you might find yourself having to do that exercise for several weeks before you can advance on. Finally, my 4th tip to getting back to doing push-ups is to go into a full plank then, if you can. So what we're gonna do, again, coming up on your mat, spreading those fingers out as far as you can go, making sure the forearms are nice and rotated straight ahead. And this time, instead of lifting up with the knees, we're going to go ahead and go back with our feet. And then you're going to hold that position in a plank. So really you're in that starting push-up position. And then you're gonna slowly lower back down. And then you can come off of that and rest if you like to. Come back down again. Bring one leg out, next leg out. Nice, good position, feeling strong in the wrists. And then slowly lowering back down. If you're feeling good with that and your wrist is feeling nice and strong, then slowly start lowering yourself down and go into a full push-up. Now, if you've tried these methods and you still have wrist pain, maybe you have full motion and you are just trying to advance those push-ups, but the wrist pain is getting in the way, then there are definitely braces and gloves that can be very beneficial and help you still be able to do those push-ups. Now, one tip is to use a Bullseye brace, and this brace is a really good wrist stabilizer, and it does not get in the way of you being able to do any of your push-ups. And I'll put a link below of where you can find the Bullseye brace. And another alternative could be to use gloves such as these WAG gloves. These gloves have some nice gel padding that can help lift the hand as you are moving that wrist. It can make that wrist feel more comfortable, as well as it has an anti-slip, which could help you with that stability that you might feel like you don't quite have on the mat. I do have a video where I go into a lot more details about these WAG gloves, and I will link that here. So with those 4 exercises and potentially using braces or gloves, hopefully you will find the best fit for you to work towards your goal of doing push-ups or planks or getting back on the yoga mat. Now, if you found this video helpful, do please give it a like and don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and let me know in the comments below how these tips worked for you. How long did it take you to get back to doing push-ups after your wrist injury? Now, if you're looking for more hand and wrist strengthening exercises, then check out these videos here. Thanks for watching.